Well, today we're on one of our favourite rivers. It's the Nene, or as the locals know it, the Nen, which is found on the east side of the country for those that are interested. Very intimate, lots of boats and structure here, and that means that it's really good for predator fishing. Mick's going to try some bait fishing for pike, and me, well, it's not the best day for it, but I quite fancy a crack at the perch, you know.
For my pike dead baiting, I've changed all my rods over to braid now, so that means that you've got instant contact when you strike. But these modern braids, like this one I'm using here, the Berkeley Whiplash 8, it's got a very, very smooth coating, and due to the way it's coated and its construction, it casts really smoothly, and I'm getting extra distance with the casting.
Well, here's the setup. As you can see, I've got the float there at the top, mounted on the braid, and then below that I've got a small swivel, and that's connected to a mono or a copolymer hook link, just to put a little bit of stretch back in, because this braid is so low stretch there is a danger you could keep bumping fish off if you don't have just a little bit of give. So I've put a mono hook link on, I've got my bulk shot, a dropper shot, and simply at the end a hook, which will be baited either with maggot or worm, whatever takes my fancy.
We went at it. Mick for the pike, me for the perch. I opted to trot my worm-baited hook under the float, while Mick fished a sardine deadbait static with the bait hard on the bottom. Pretty soon, it was obvious for me at least, that the float wasn't working, despite my best efforts to fish it closer and closer to the cover. A switch to leathering tactics with a quiver tip brought fresh hope and the chance to explore a new area of the swim, although things didn't work out quite the way I planned them.
Oh, that was a little nudge then. And then on the far side, you've got all those overhanging bushes, and I've got really tight across. I've added some extra SSG shots to the link so I can hold further across the river. But this is important. You don't want to add so many shots that you're really pinning the bait hard to the bottom. What you want is just the minimum amount of shots you can get away with for the bite sensitivity. And I think I do deserve a better fate actually for fishing like that, but it just goes to show you the sensitivity of that braid. Well, I don't know about you, mate, but I found it fairly difficult.
I knew you would. I didn't think you would catch a perch in this bright conditions, but you know something? I thought I would catch a pike.
We fished on, of course, but to no avail. It was just one of those days. Eventually Mick's float, after lying stock still for over half an hour, suddenly came to life. At last, Mick was connected to a pike. Not a big pike, but a pike. However, even the joy we felt as the fish neared the net turned to disappointment when it threw the hooks. In the end, we packed and sulked off to our respective homes, respective tails firmly between legs. The following day, for no other reason than the fact that we like to entertain you guys with a fish or two, I went out, this time on my own, and to a different river. Fresh start, fresh hope. I had my fingers crossed at any rate.
Come across today to the Warwickshire Avon, which is another one of my favourite small rivers, just to try and get a bite off a predatory fish. Perch, pike, zander, I really don't mind what takes my lure. Well, before the water gets too cold, I'm just going to try some casts along the edge with a plug. And I like to cover the edges of the river, the structure, the reed beds, the overhanging trees, the jetties, any boats that might be moored up. And the idea is get the lure in tight, crank it hard to get it to dive quickly, and then slow it down and give the fish a chance to latch onto it in these cold water temperatures. Yeah. I think the conditions are literally deteriorating almost by the minute, but I'm not going to pack in yet because with the light going like this, there's a decent chance of another fish, and I'm hoping I might even pick up a zander. So nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm going to stick it out to the end. Oh, look at this. It's not, I was expecting a pike. It's not actually. It looks like a zander to me, and not a bad one either. Well, that would be a heck of a result on a freezing cold day. Yes, it is a zander. And there it is. Not the pike I was expecting, but a zander. And after all of the poor fishing on the Nene yesterday, I'm so glad I came out in this cold weather today, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have caught this fish. It's a brilliant result, and I can't wait to tell Mick. The water is really, really cold. Oh, that fish didn't mind. Yeah. That was fantastic. A really good fight too. There we go.
It didn't turn out too badly in the end, did it? It was only a bit of bad weather after all. Fishing will always be about highs and lows, and we'll all get our share of both. And remember, even on the worst fishing days, the next red letter day could be closer than you think.
Can't ask for more than a soaking on a freezing cold day. Thanks, mate.